All right, we are ready. Welcome, 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 everyone. Yes, come on in, join us. Let me make sure that this, awesome, we are ready to roll. Listen, we are not going to wait any longer. Welcome to How to Use Webinars to 10x Your Impact and Your Income, or if you want to say, how to 10x your income or your 10x your impact and your income using webinars. You are in the right place. So it is time. We have had a great time with the webinar challenge. I want to thank each and every one of you that have participated in the challenge. And so we are going to get right to it. So you guys are literally in the right place. If you're tired of not being able to monetize your live streams, you go live and you are not making money from that particular platform. I understand. You're also in a position where you're ready to make money from your message. So many of you that I've engaged with recently, you have an idea of how you want to make an impact in the world. You just don't know how to make money with it. So hang with me today, and we're going to talk about how you can do that. And so also, you're not really sure of how to position or pitch your core offer. Some of you not even sure what is a core offer, and you don't have a core offer, but that's okay. And last but not least, you are not meeting your revenue goals in business. I mean, I saw 3,000, 5,000, I saw 2,000, 2,500. And some of you are not even meeting those goals, but that's all right. So you're in the right place, all right? So we're going to talk about who is this for, right? Well, that's who this is for. Who is this not for? I like to say that if you're not willing to do the work, this is not the place for you, okay? A lot of people say, does this work? We've been talking about the webinar platforms, and we always get the question of, well, does this work? If you're willing to follow the blueprint, if you're willing to do the work, yes, it will work for you. If you're not willing to really get comfortable with your area of expertise or your zone of genius, or even understanding and knowing your worth, then this may not be the right place for you. Also, if you are looking for a quick solution to make money in like the next 60 minutes, this is not the right place for you, okay? But by the end, you will know how to make more money, how to increase your revenue, how to put money to your bottom line using webinars. All right, I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. Now, of course, I only have you for a little bit of time. So I ask that I have your undivided attention. So let me tell you what I did. I turned off my ringer. I put my phone on Do Not Disturb. There is absolutely nothing more important in this moment than being here with you, sharing this information. So I want you to get a pen and a pad, and I need you to write some of these things down, because as you experience these aha moments, I want you to jot them down in your notes, all right? So over the next 45 to 60 minutes, I'm going to share with you how to make money with any size audience using webinars. I'm going to share with you the exact method to share your message and build your list simultaneously. And you've heard me talk a little bit about the webinar success blueprint. Well, I'm going to show you one simple tweak to 10x your impact and your income. All right. Is that cool? Awesome. And I believe we may have like a chat box or a Q&A box. So if you got any questions, you guys are more than welcome to raise your hand, and I will make sure that I answer the questions as we proceed. All right. So with that being said, webinars have been the what? Y'all know, the number one way that I've been able to build my list and create a lifestyle business. Yep, I said it. The number one way that I've been able to build my list and create a lifestyle business. All right, so some of you are like, who is this chick? Who is DeKesha? Like, I came across, I don't know, maybe an ad, or I came across her image, a post or something. And she is, you know, I see her showing up online. So I'll just tell you a little bit about myself, right? I am the #1 virtual COO. What that basically means is that we help entrepreneurs manage their online operations, the online aspects of their business. A lot of entrepreneurs struggle with the day-to-day operations of their business. And so we help entrepreneurs build systems and processes so that they can automate their revenue in their business. They can automate their revenue in their business. And we also have been in a position where we help our clients increase their revenue by over 200% in less than 12 months by just implementing some strategies. I am a mompreneur. I also consider myself to be a wine connoisseur. But don't tell anybody, y'all. I've never been to a winery. I know. So we're looking at how we can potentially incorporate that into one of our retreats or one of our intensive, right? Again, I pride myself on being able to be a lifestyle entrepreneur in which I can make money from anywhere, right? I can run and operate my business from anywhere, from my laptop. And so typically I like to let people know that, you know, I'm just the chick that lost the same job twice. And I consider myself to be building a successful business from the comfort of my home. And it was funny because August 24th, 2011, I put in my pink slip and I walked away from my corporate America job. My daughter has said to me, "Mommy, do you realize that you've missed the first week of school 2 years in a row?" I was like, what? 2 years in a row? No, I'm sorry. It was 3 years in a row. It was actually 3 years in a row. She says, "Mommy, you missed the first week of school 3 years in a row." And any of you that are under the sound of my voice, you can put it out in the chat. You know, if you have children, you know, that kind of hurts, kind of hits you in the back, like hits you where it really hurts, right? And so I knew at that time that I needed to figure out another way that I could be available for my children. So another way that I could literally make myself accessible to my children, so that I wouldn't miss out on important things like the first week of school. Now, even though, you know, most children, they complain about school, right? And we know that the most important, you know, they only enjoy school, 2 times out of the year. That's the first week of school. Yeah, you said it. And the last week of school. But I knew that something had to change. I knew something had to change in my life. And so after 7.5, going on 8 years in business, being a virtual COO, helping entrepreneurs automate their revenue, helping them put in systems, processes, it has allowed me to be present for both of my children, Jaden and Deja. And so I'm able to, I like to call it hashtag sideline money. So I'm able to generate revenue in my business consistently from the sideline, whether it's football, basketball, or gymnastics, right? Listen. And so over the next, 45 minutes or 60 minutes, I'm going to share with you my simple 6-step system designed to literally help you build your list and make more money so that you too can have more time to do the things you love, honestly, without spending tons of dollars on Facebook ads or even having a huge list. Like I literally built, my business and I didn't have a list of 14,000 people. And so as we start to, move into some of the misconceptions that people have in this space, the first misconception that I hear often is the ultimate fear of technology, right? Well, what do you mean? A lot of people are afraid to actually use webinars in their business because of the technology aspect. And so let me tell you how I know this to be true. a lot of misconceptions that people have about using webinars in their business is the simple fact that technology, right? That it's difficult to actually host a webinar, and you have to have like complicated software in order to really make it happen in your business. And I just want to make sure that they can see it in the group, because I guess some people are not getting, so they're not getting the link. And we definitely want to make sure that everybody is able to join us. Some people are registering and they're not getting a link. Okay. All righty. So there we go. All right, we're gonna try this one more time. I tell you, and it's funny because we're talking about the myth of technology. So for whatever reason, if you hadn't received the link, we are live. So myth number one is the fear of the ultimate fear of technology. And a lot of people, from what I understand, a lot of people feel that you have to have like software, like overcomplicated or like really fancy and sophisticated software, right? And let me tell you how I know this. As I've been teaching, in this space, a lot of people have, you know, they delay their webinars. So one of the things that we do is the first thing we do is that we ask, you know, when are you going to do your webinar? Like one of the assignments was to schedule your webinar execution plan. And so with that being said, your webinar execution plan, one of the first things that you want is your date. And I ask that you allow about at least 45 to 60 days in order for, you know, for promotional aspects, okay? And so I see this often, the resistance in individuals who want to use webinars by delaying their actual webinar. I know that sounds crazy, but what if you could actually click a few buttons and go live in front of your audience and be able to share your message? What if you didn't need, you know, like the sophisticated $3,000 software and you could just go live? Would you be willing to tackle webinars if the technology piece of it was not a burden? Okay. All right. And so I also like for you to think about, what if you had templates? How cool is that? What if you actually had a pre-designed webinar template, kind of like a plug and play? Would that make your life easier? Would that make you actually hosting a webinar a little bit more exciting, or at least a little more enticing for you to start on that journey, right? So can I tell you that even amidst my technical difficulties by me going live, webinars really require little technical experience to get started in this space. Can I tell you that? I promise you. Webinars really require little technical experience to get started in this space. You ain't got to get it right. You just got to get it going. I feel like I'm being dyslexic by trying to read that slide. So number two misconception is that people are not making money from webinars. And we've talked about this. This is a huge misconception. And let me tell you how it shows up. People will say, well, I'm not going to make any money. I'm not going to be able to get 500, 300 people on my webinar. So DeKesha, there is absolutely no way that I can have a 5-figure launch because I'm not going to be able to get 1,000 people registered and 1,000 people on my webinar. Well, guess what? What if you could have a 5-figure launch with less than 50 people on a webinar? What? What if you could really seriously have a 5-figure launch with less than 50 people on a webinar? Would that work for you? Do you realize that webinars are designed to attract your ideal client? Like, webinars are truly designed to help you attract a specific and your ideal client. And so when you position your expertise in front of the right audience, your conversion will automatically increase. It doesn't matter the size of how many people register or how many people, show up. I will say that 40%, 50% will show up. Anywho, we'll talk about that in a little bit. But when you actually shift from speaking to everyone and you convert to speaking to the one, you really position yourself to make more money. Let me say that again. When you shift from speaking to everyone and you convert to speaking to the one, you actually position yourself to make more money. So what do I mean by that? Typically, a lot of us use live stream to get our message to the masses. However, when live stream is not a segmented audience. Live stream is made accessible for pretty much anyone who kind of scrolls past your screen. And so you're speaking to everyone. And webinars allow you to speak to a specific audience. It allows you to speak to a specific audience. And so one of the things that I tell you, and I want you to write this down, I use live stream for awareness and I use webinars for conversion. I use live stream for awareness and I use webinars for conversion. Y'all better write that down in your notes. Ooh. All right. So, and here's the third misconception that we've experienced as well. And that is webinars will not work in my industry. Man, you better get out of here. Webinars will not work in my industry. And these are the excuses that I hear as to why webinars do not work for authors, speakers, for people that are in the space of the CBD oils, for fitness experts, network marketers, you name it. Let me tell you something. Any of you under the sound of my voice who is selling a product, regardless of what that product is, you have to provide information to your prospective client. So if you are, it doesn't matter if you are in the financial field, if you are in the CBD field, if you are in the diabetes field, if you are in the coaching and consulting field, book writing field, at the end of the day, there is information that you have to provide to your prospective client. And webinars are the vehicle that is used to transfer that information to the end user so that they can make an educated buying decision. Did you get that? Did you screenshot that? Webinars are vehicles used to transfer information to the end user so that they can make an educated buying decision. Y'all got to write that down in your notes. I'm telling you. And so when you identify, when you really come, you have that come to Jesus moment, When you identify that webinars is a vehicle to take the prospect and transform them into a client, your profits will increase. Y'all better jot that down in your notes. When you actually take the time to identify that webinars is a vehicle to take the prospect and transform them into a client, automatically your profits, your bottom line will increase. And that's what I realized. And so I shared to you that I walked away from corporate America. And listen, being a single mom of two, oftentimes it was really hard for me, you guys, to just kind of up and travel, right? And even still to this day, I'm not going to even lie. Even when I get speaking gigs, I feel guilty about leaving my kids at home, especially when I was trying to, if I asked my mom to come stay with them, or if I asked my father to come stay with them, I often had a hard time to lose them. Someone's asking a question about the platform that I use. I'm going to give you that at the end. So that's a great question. Thank you, Sherry. And so, matter of fact, let me write that down so I can remember to answer that at the end. Platform. All right, and make sure you guys tag your accountability partner as well. And so I was not in a position where I could be like your traditional keynote speaker when I came into this space. And so when it was time for me to travel, and I even had this I had this same feeling when I went to Vancouver earlier this summer. I felt guilty about leaving. And I would always refer to the fact that, listen, DeKesha, you left corporate America in 2011 to be present for your children. Well, that was 8 years ago. They big now. But, some people are in that same position where they're restricted because of a job, a 9 to 5. They're restricted because of, children. And I get it. And so I found this particular vehicle that allowed me to teach, train, and facilitate from the comfort of my home. All right. And so I'm going to walk you through the framework that we use. This is actually 3-step framework. It's 3 of 6. But this is 3-step framework that we use in order to really build the premise of a successful business. So I hope you guys are taking notes. All right. So step number 1 is prospecting. You heard me say that in a couple of slides earlier. So step number 1 is prospecting. Have you heard that before? You really have to accept the fact that you got to promote the problem and service the solution. Come on. You have to accept the fact that you have to promote the problem and service the solution. Well, DeKesha, what are you talking about? You need to be able to understand what your prospect struggles are. And I think one of the exercises was about understanding that pain point. It's your responsibility to understand what is truly keeping them up at night. Like, what makes them stay up all night long, tossing and turning in their bed. And here's what you have to do. You have to craft a message that speaks directly to the problem. That's how you get their attention. That's one of the reasons that so many people struggle with really capturing their audience attention, okay? They have a problem capturing their audience attention because they always make it about them. They always make it about what's in it for me instead of speaking directly to the problem that your prospect is having. Making sense? And so in this space, what I teach my students to do is to use the webinar platform to address the problem and position your solution. We use webinars to address the problem and position the solution. So let me tell you a little bit about Shauna K. She's probably on today and she's like, oh my God, no, she's not showing me. Shauna K actually had a signature networking or art of connecting program. I had never, ever used a webinar day before in her life. I used her as a beta, and she actually came to my house. And I actually used like whiteboards to actually speak directly to her, so that she'd know exactly what to say. And so Shauna Kay did a 45 to 60 minute webinar. I think she had 100 people register, about 45 people showed, right? At the end of that webinar, Shauna Kay invited them to work with her in a $597 program. And I believe she converted 5 people. And so she made $2,500. This is someone who had never, ever touched technology a day in their life when it comes to doing webinars, okay? All right, so the second thing that you have to do is you have to optimize. I love this. So optimize, right? And what does that really mean? And I say this all the time, and I mean this when I say this. It is up to you to build your own stage. A lot of our experts, okay? A lot of our experts are sitting back waiting for someone to invite them on their stage. It's up to you to build your own stage. And I want you to write this down. I want you to be so good that they can't ignore you. I want you to be so good that they can't ignore you. Well, why is that? You have to create a space where people are actually coming to hear your level of expertise. They're coming to hear your specific message. They're coming to you to actually get your solution to their problem. But it's up to you to create that space. So I want you to write that down. Build my own platform. I want you to make the commitment to build your own platform. And I want you to write down, I am committed to build my own platform. I am committed to building my own platform. So let me help you understand where we're going with this. You can actually use the webinar to build your list. But not only are you building your list, you're building your list of people who are waiting to work with you. Can I tell you that you have everything you need to be successful right now? In all of the conversations that I've had throughout this previous week, and speaking to most of you, you already have a great idea. You already have a concept. So let me tell you, you don't have a knowledge problem. You have an execution problem. Write that down. You don't have a knowledge problem. You have an execution problem. And what if you could create a platform where 30 to 40% of the people who show up become prospective clients? What if, I don't think y'all hear me. What if you could have a platform, a list of people who truly want to work with you, Precious, who truly want to work with you, Terrence, who truly want to work with you, Pam, who truly want to work with you, Trinette? Let me tell you about Robert Youngblood. And this actually blew my mind, right? So one of the first times that I actually ran the webinar challenge, revenue challenge, right? And we've changed the challenge assignment several times. So Robert YB Youngblood, we're actually we co-authored a book together called Speak Up. So we call him Youngblood. So Youngblood actually participated in the webinar challenge, right? And during this time in the webinar challenge, I would teach them how to use positioning questions. And so now we actually teach it in our program. We don't teach it in the challenge anymore. And so Robert Youngblood actually used, on day 3, used positioning questions on his Facebook page and his LinkedIn. This was in the challenge, y'all. And he's a LinkedIn locksmith. Out of the 25 responses, just by using positioning questions, he was able to get on the phone with 3 people in that day, and each person requested a proposal, ending up closing over $9,000 Y'all better write that down. Ended up closing over $9,000. Wow. Yes. You heard it. Write that one down. Positioning questions. And so we teach that in our program of how to use positioning questions so that you can convert and transform into clients. One of my favorite words, transformation, right? All right, so what is that? At the end of the day, you got to make money from all of your hard work. How many of you under the sound of my voice want to make money from all your hard work? You're like, whoo, we did all these exercises. We talk about positioning questions. How many of you are really, truly ready to make money from all of your hard work? And so I want you to write this down. Idea plus implementation equals income. Idea plus implementation equals income. And I said, majority of you guys under the sounds of my voice, you have an idea, you have a concept, you have an execution problem, but if you implement, you can make more money. Idea plus implementation equals income. And so many people question, will this work for me? And I'm here to tell you the system will work if you work it. I already told you when you came here earlier today, like if you're not willing to do the work, you might as well like click off because this ain't for you. You have to be willing to do the work. You have to be willing to implement the strategies that are given to you in order to generate the revenue. Come on, holla if you hear me. So listen, this is your time to own your space. You have to be confident in providing the ultimate goal of transformation. Well, what does that mean? Are you confident that you can provide the desired results for your client? So for me, I am confident without a shadow of doubt that if you implement the strategies that I can help you make from $2,000 to $5,000 on your first webinar, from $5,000 to $10,000 on your second. Some people make from $5,000 to $7,000 on the first one. But I am confident without a shadow of doubt that we can provide the ultimate goal of transformation. How many of you under the sound of my voice are confident that you can provide the ultimate goal of transformation? Most of you, majority, have a program to help people transform in their life. Regardless whether it's going from passion to profit, regardless whether it's from being able to help somebody live a healthier lifestyle, regardless whether it's about building a successful business, you have to be confident. You got to know that you know that you know. As my friend Robert Antoine would say, you know, you have to feel it down in your sha-na-na, right? Down in your sha-na-na. But listen, and I want you to write this down. Say, this is my time. Write this down. Say, this is my time. This ain't DeKesha's time. Well, it is my time. But this is my time. This is Terrence's time. This is Precious' time. This is King's time. Pam's time. Trinette's time. This is your time. This is Cynthia's time. Sunita's time. Tony's time. This is your time. It's your time. And you know, if you have an irresistible offer included in your webinar, oh my goodness, y'all. Woo! Honey, it's your time. Having an irresistible offer included in your webinar can convert a prospect to clients every single. Sharon, this is your time, baby. This is your time. Yes, it is, my dear. She said, don't forget about me. I love it. I love it. I love it. So really quickly, I would like to review the framework. And it was 3 of the 6, right? It was the prospecting, optimize, and transformation or transform. And so prospecting is about making sure that you master your message, you guys. You got to make sure you master your message so that your client knows that you are speaking directly to them. And optimize is about building your own platform. It's about building your own platform. And then transformation, that's where we started to talk about how to monetize, right? So when you think about, are you still in the right place? So let me ask you something. And I think I've asked you guys probably earlier this week, but do you have a huge list, right? If you don't, this is literally for someone who has a larger message than you have lists. And we just talked about this. This is for someone who is confident that their solution can change or save lives of others, regardless of the industry that you're in. Are y'all still with me? Yes or yes? Is this helping you? Yes or yes? I want to see some comments in the feed. I need to know that this is helping you. Yes or yes? So let me explain to you. Webinars has become the top method in generating revenue from the comfort of my home. Did y'all hear me say that? Webinars has become the number one way. It's an unstoppable day. The number one way that I have been able to generate revenue from the comfort of my own home. And I have positioned myself where people are inboxing me to come speak on their stage to share my message. Because I said to you, you have to be so good that they can't ignore you. And who is this beauty? This is my boo, Crystal Cunningham. We chatted last night. And she figured out her signature system last night. But I love telling the story about Crystal Cunningham, because Crystal Cunningham was in one of the first series of WSB. And Crystal Cunningham was one of the first ones who jumped out and said, I'm going to do my webinar. Y'all, I'm literally raising my hand right now, y'all. But she said, I'm going to do my webinar first. Because I challenged each of them to step out and do the webinar while they are in the program so that I can be there and to support them. That's the whole point of being in a program. Like, you're paying for access and you're paying for support. So she's like, well, look, I'm going to do mine next. I'm going to be the first one. And that's exactly what she did. And I love it. And Crystal had been going live, and she still goes live consistently, but she was not making money from her live streams. She was not converting people into a core program. And so she actually used Zoom. Zoom shut down on her. But let me tell you something. When you have a tribe, they wait for you. And that's exactly what they did. They actually waited for her to show back up. And so by the end of the webinar, she had closed 8 people into a program. And I think the price was like maybe $197, $297, or somewhere in that ballpark. But she closed 8 people. And when I tell you that she started to, implement the remaining strategies, because this was probably like week 4 of the program. And so they still get modules. And so as she started to review and continue into the program, she was like, oh, wait, there's more to it. I'm leaving money on the table. She ended up closing 8 more people into the program. So by the time we checked back in, Crystal had over 16 people in her program. And I can't do the math, but I know she generated over $3,000. Check this out. But wait, there's more. At the end of the 8-week program, right? At the end of the 8-week program, she did like a closing out call for everybody that had enrolled in her program. And I thought it was so cool. I think I got the email or something like that. And I'm gonna tell you something. And some of my students that are on here with us, they will tell you, if I see that you are live, if I see that you're having a webinar, I will pop up in your webinar really quickly. And so that's exactly what I did. I mean, because I support my people. And so I inboxed her at this end of the season. I'm gonna say end of the season, end of the program call that she was having. And I popped in her DM and I said, well, what you offering at the end of this call? She said, DeKesha, I got nothing. I said, oh, yes, you do. I said, you got 30 minutes to come up with something. Because let me explain something to you. A buyer is a buyer is a buyer is a buyer. Do you realize that it's actually less expensive to keep a current current client than it is to get a new client. I'm teaching and telling about Crystal. It's actually, I want you to write this down. It is less expensive to retain a current client than it is to go out and get a new client. So I said, Crystal, what you selling them? And so she, after it was over, I jumped off. You know, I didn't want to make her nervous. I didn't want her to stumble and things like that. But I jumped off. And she inboxed me back. She was like, somebody bought a one-on-one program. I said, God damn, high five. And so at the end of the day, I think she generated over $5,000. She generated over $5,000 on her first webinar. So don't feel bad if you got $2,500 for your goals, $2,000 for your goals, $5,000 for your goals. This right here shows you that it's possible. All right, cool. Awesome. Now, with that being said, speakers, authors, consulting, coaches, network marketers, specialists, all of you guys can benefit from the use of webinars in your business. So the question is, okay, so what do we do now, DeKesha? Like you've been giving us assignments and you're telling us that we can make money. Where do I start? And that's the biggest issue that people have in, with the webinars period, because I don't know where to start. I don't know what to do. Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. You got one or two choices. You're gonna end up leaving this masterclass and you're gonna go and try to implement it on your own. And some of you may have some success and some of you may have some struggles. And then some of you are going to decide to work with an expert. Which one will you be? Are you going to go try to figure it out by yourself? Are you going to decide to work with an expert and implement the strategies to help you make money in your business? So for those of you all that want to take the easy way out, right? I would like to introduce to you the Webinar Success Blueprint. The Webinar Success Blueprint has grown, right? There are 6 training modules valued at over $1,997. We have emails and scripts for higher conversion. All of my students get between 40 and 50% on their webinars when industry standard is 30 to 40%. Holla if you hear me. You get access to our members only area. In that area alone, with my interaction with my students is valued over $1,997. You actually get a private Facebook group for support. Again, $1,000 value. We have Q&A support calls, okay? And I got bonuses for you. And actually, I'm going to share with you how you can get a one-on-one jumpstart call with me today. I'll share with you in just a second. So the bonuses is for those of you individuals who have a problem with mastering your marketing message. So if you enroll today, you'll get these 4 bonuses today. We have Facebook ad intro class that's valued at $597. Also, the webinar execution calendar template, like I lay it all out for you on what you need to do in order to pre-plan for your webinar. We even have a lead magnet template that we have included now in the Webinar Success Blueprint if you don't have a way to generate leads to build your list as well. And so that is a total value of close to $9 grand. $9,000, y'all. And if you guys decide to take the easy way, you'll get it today for $997. Not $1,997. Yes, baby, but for $997. So I really want to show you again what you're going to get out of the Webinar Success Blueprint program. And so we use the Profit Blueprint method. It's all about prospects, resolution, optimization, focus, igniting, and transform. This particular model has helped me use one program to generate over $80,000 in my business in less than 9 months. And I'm going to show you how to do the same thing. Let me walk you through what I learned and what you're going to take away. So in the first particular module, it's all about prospecting. It's up to you. You have to determine your ideal client and the urgent problem that they have. You have to gain clarity of your ideal client so that your message immediately captivates their attention. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You have to be able to captivate your ideal client and use their language when you show up online. Most of you are still here, so you got to figure out a way to stay engaged and increase your watch rate online. Say it ain't so. And then you build a tribe of raving fans who are waiting for your next big offer. They're like, I'm just waiting to see what DeKesha got coming next. I'm just waiting to see what Precious got coming next. They waiting for Keisha Bass too, because she's still out there making calls. Oops. And the resolution is the next module. How to develop a resolution to solve their problem. You have to create a product offering that will meet your audience learning style, okay? We do share 3 secrets to create low labor products so that you can have more time with your family and friends. Y'all know that's important to me. And what I've learned is that you attract like-minded people. So most of you all that are under the sound of my voice, you want to create a lifestyle where you can spend more time doing the things that you love. Oftentimes, write this down. Don't overcomplicate a simplistic process. Don't overcomplicate a simplistic process. We have the tendency to overcomplicate a simplistic process, right? And then we have the secrets to the pricing strategy that matches your expertise level. Gone are the days of the $97 program and the $197 program. Yes, baby, we just increased your prices. All right, so module number 3. Create a platform to optimize your message. Here's what we do in this particular module. This is how you figure out how to get your message to the masses. Some people use events. Some people use workshops. Our vehicle is webinars, but it works either way. Then we show you step by step the method to make money online using digital events. Did y'all know that this is a $126 billion industry, the online learning space? Did you know that? And it is growing to over $200 billion to $300 billion by 2025. Okay. Then you build your list of raving fans. Remember I said there's people that are waiting to work with you? Now you'll have a list of them so that you can get in contact with them. Yes, you will. And what about focus? You got to get crystal clear on how to monetize your webinar. And let me tell you, webinars is just the vehicle. You have to master your message. You have to be able to develop a signature presentation that will convert. You don't want to just do webinars. You want converting webinars. And remember we said create an irresistible offer? Develop a solution that leaves them not questioning. It's just like, all right, you know what? This is for me. This is for me. And that's how I am. Show me where to sign up. Show me what's the link so I can go ahead and put my bid in. And sometimes, y'all, I'll reach out in advance and be like, I know you got an offer coming. Can you tell me how much it is so I can go ahead and prepare myself? All right. And then I need you to master the stories that sells. Did y'all know story sales? Ooh-wee. What if you could craft a close that is a no-brainer? We'll teach you the elements of a ninja closing. And I'll also show you, it's a lot. I'll also show you how to position yourself as an expert in your field. Like seriously, I'm gonna show you that. And that's just in focus. And so we still have prospect, resolution, optimize, focus. We still got 2 left. 2 more modules. Are you writing this down? Are you screenshotting this? I think the word ignite is like my second favorite one, but this is where you light the fire around your promotional strategy and people are reaching out to you, be like, girl, dude, like you are doing the doggone thing. There is 8 to 10 promotional strategies to generate a 40 to 50% show rate. Remember I just told you my students get 40 to 50% show rate? when industry standard is 30 to 40? Stop waiting for people to just show up. And I want you to make some noise. We help you develop that marketing message. Craft a message that resonate with your audience and have them raising their hands to want to work with you. And what was that word right there? We show you how to use positioning questions to grab your audience attention. Come on. All right, last module. Utilize the Webinar Success Blueprint to monetize. This is where you develop a launch strategy to achieve your revenue growth, your revenue goals. You develop a launch strategy. This is a step-by-step process to help you get your product in front of more people. But you have to create content that converts using sales pages. A lot of people, do y'all know a lot of people don't actually have methods to take payments? Anyway, and so we help you create a content marketing strategy and a content calendar. Yes, that, my friend, is the Webinar Success Blueprint. Now, here's what I'm going to do. For the first 5 individuals that decide that they want to take action today and pay in full, we'll get a one-on-one 60-minute jumpstart session with me. All right? And I'll show you where you can go register. So, for those of you all that stayed with me to the end, we have some bonuses. One of the bonuses is how to create profitable products. And it really goes through understanding your audience, the different type of product offerings that you can have, the pricing strategy. You kind of did some research and development this week, but we really go deep dive in that as well. And marketing mastery. A lot of people have a messaging problem. So we have the marketing mastery bonus as well. There's some worksheets and templates about understanding and identifying pain versus solution. Really getting crystal clear on the positioning questions, how to captivate their attention, how to get crystal clear on your marketing message as well. All right. So let's just go back what's involved in or included in the Webinar Success Blueprint. There's 6 training modules. Now, I will say to you, the training modules are pre-recorded because I pride myself in showing up on our live Q&A calls to help you specifically with your brand. There are emails and scripts for higher conversion, access to our members only area. We have a private Facebook group for support. Then there's the Q&A support calls on the 1st and 3rd Thursdays of the month. Now there's the 4 bonuses that I mentioned again. Mastering your marketing message, Facebook ad intro, the webinar execution calendar template, and the lead magnet template as well. The bonuses keep rolling. We actually provide the promotional package for your first webinar. So we want you to show up like a rock star. DeKesha can't have you showing up online talking about you working with DeKesha and your graphics is garbage. I'm sorry. Our graphics department will help you with your first online promotional package. And we're going to throw in the follow-up sales sequence. This is how you stop leaving money on the table. There's a follow-up sales sequence that happens after the webinar. Some of you all did not know that. But for those of you all that actually decide to join today, you'll get access to all of the bonuses. Now, Ninja email sequence. If you purchase the email sequence alone, I believe it was valued at like $497. Like that's half of what you would invest. That's half of what you invest. But if I was to sell you the Ninja email sequence alone, you would pick up another 5 to 7% of revenue off the table. You'd make back your investment. I invite you to the Webinar Success Blueprint. I'm going to show you the link. Now, if WSB generated an additional $5,000 in revenue for you, how would you feel and what would that do for you? I want you to write that in the comments. Type that in the comments. If you could generate an additional $5,000 in revenue, if you participated in WSB, which is 4 times more than what the investment is, what would that do for you, your family? How would you feel? Type it in the comments. Dr. Rashida Mendez, she actually sells on Amazon. On Amazon, we actually created and built out her entire webinar sequence for her entire webinar funnel for her, so that she can create an additional revenue stream in her business. Dr. Rashida Mendez, yep, love it, love, love it. And there is the link. If you go to the webinarsuccessblueprint.com, the webinarsuccessblueprint.com, for the first 5 people that are under the sound of my voice that pay in full, I will go ahead and get you a one-on-one session, a jumpstart session with me, to make sure that you not only have a webinar execution plan, but you are set up to make at least, at minimum, $3,000 to $5,000 from your first webinar. Fair enough? The webinarsuccessblueprint.com. So listen, some of you, see, I feel a vacation already. Some of you have been investing in a course after course after course after course. Listen, it's time to break those old habits. I've shown you what's possible to create freedom. And we didn't even talk about automating it yet, right? So that you can create that lifestyle for yourself. So www.thewebinarsuccessblueprint.com, www.thewebinarsuccessblueprint.com. This is actually what the page looks like. And so it has everything that's included in the modules. If you have any questions, please let me know. If you click on Get Access Now, it will take you to our checkout page. And again, the first 5 individuals that actually pay in full. Now, let me say, there is a button where if you do not have, I guess it's PayPal credit, they'll allow you to buy now, pay over time. Some people like to use it. I've used it in the past for very large investments in our mastermind. And I will like to say that we no longer have the WSB VIP program where we build the funnel. We have actually introduced the 6-month mentorship. The 6-month mentorship. And if you go to the www.thewebinarsuccessblueprint.com, in that mentorship, you will get everything that's included in the Webinar Success Blueprint. We launched the Get Ish Done coaching program, which is a 6-month commitment. You get access to our entire member-only area. You get access to our private Facebook group. Wait for it. You get a Q&A. You still get the Q&A sessions for WSB, plus Get Ish Done, where there's accountability as well. Listen, you get 2 tickets to the Get Ish Done Mastermind for November 2019. Yes, I am doing my second event for 2019, my friend. And you get 2 tickets in the 6-month mentorship. Actually, we're doing something different. We've actually added a speaker promotional package. There's a promo video and branding specifically for those individuals that are speakers. You also get, this is the mentorship. If you look at it, it's on the right-hand side. You actually get 90 days to 20K launch strategy. And additional, you get the expert to sales expert, copywriting team, branding expert, and several of my super friends, which I just put is priceless. It's priceless. And so again, that $5,997, that's a steal. That program is valued at over $25,000. So we will be hosting the Get Ish Done Mastermind. It's actually going to be a 3-day event this time, y'all. It was 2 days earlier this year, but it's going to be 3 days because we have a photographer and a videographer for those individuals who want promo. And I haven't even told my students about that. They're like, what? So I haven't even told my students. So if you go to Get Access Now, this is what the actual page looks like. Just click on, you can do single payments or you can do 4 payments of $286. I'm not picky. I know it says $297, but hey, $286, it is what it is. As long as you are getting value out of the program and we are making money together. Yes, honey. Total value of $8,997. Do me a favor. Head on over to www.thewebinarsuccessblueprint.com. www.thewebinarsuccessblueprint.com. There's a couple of questions that were asked, and if you have any, make sure you raise your hand and I will answer them now. Our training is pre-recorded and the Q&A is live. This allows me the opportunity to get specific information or specific feedback about your brand on our Q&A call versus me training live. Make sense? You do have lifetime access. Listen, you have lifetime access to the content. So once you invest, the content does not disappear. You have lifetime access to the content. The other question, what platform do you suggest? So we use ClickFunnels now, and I actually give you the framework. How freaking crazy is that? I'll give you the framework for it. So I have all my students. And so if you set your date for 45 days, 60 days out, listen, I'll give you the framework. So it's so super easy for you to set up and be ready to go and be ready to promote. And we actually have some special strategies that we throw in there to get booked and to build your list, right? And to build your bot list as well. The other question, our Q&A. And if you have any additional questions, please drop the questions in the chat so I can answer them here live. Q&A is held on the first and third Thursday of the month. It is a live Q&A call. It is at 4 p.m. on the first and third Thursday. All calls are recorded and housed in our membership area so that you can have access to them for whatever reason if you miss them. So yes, so Q&A every first and third Thursday. First and third Thursday. If you miss it, we record it for you. If you don't feel like, I don't have the time right now, DeKesha, I'll say this to you. When will you ever have time? And if it's something that you really want in life, we make the time for it. That's true? If it's something that if you really wanted to make an additional $3,000 to $5,000 in your business, or you really wanted to generate revenue, you'll find the time for it. So I will say this, don't wait until you have nothing else to fall on. Don't wait until you're in a situation where you're like, I've invested and I'm depleted. I can't take it. Don't wait until that point. If there's a part of you right now that you know what, I've been joking, I've been trying this and I've been dabbling. It's time for me to take my business to the next level. It's really that time for me. Go ahead and make that decision. The webinarsuccessblueprint.com. The webinarsuccessblueprint.com. For the first 5 people that decide to make that investment today, if you pay in full, you will be one of the first 5 individuals to get a one-on-one session with me. It's a 60-minute jumpstart session. Literally, I can help you articulate your message and send you off with a webinar execution plan to go ahead and meet your revenue goal that you set for yourself. So if there are no further questions, I have thoroughly enjoyed you guys and you ladies. My name is DeKesha Williams, your virtual COO. Be passionate, be purposeful, but more importantly, be profitable. I'll see you guys on the other side. And congratulations to our newest WSB members. Love you.